So where do you want to start with this? There was a lot of talk that already went on today in the chat. I don't even know where to start with this, but like you can look at it two ways. Like for me, like I think it was some people were taking the route of like, that's the man's wife. He's allowed to feel emotional about that, what was said, and that, but he still shouldn't have did what he did, and it was wrong and stupid of him to do that. And a lot of people were surprised they didn't get ejected from the actual award show. And that's why they would even go so far as to thinking it was a hoax. They've always been a weird couple. Let's get that. Like that's already like that out of the way. That's already been established, I think, a long time ago. Right. But like for them to think that, I think it's a lot for them to think that everyone knows about what she's going through and publicly talking about. Like we're all, you know what I mean? Like who, like we all just paying attention. Like we need to know everything that's going on in their lives. You know what I mean? Like they've always been kind of like that, very full of themselves, I find. And like, and who the hell would have known? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't know that shit like until they talked about it here today. Like, listen, I can sit here and talk shit about Jada and that her whole role in this, but she's not the one that decided to do that though. This was Will Smith. Right? Like you could say like she made a face and whatever the relationship is, or she has some sort of hold on him or whatever the hell's going on there between those two. But you can't say like she didn't get up there and do something about it. He did. So he has to be responsible for his actions. The shame of the matter is two main points I want to mention. One, it overshadowed the fact that this guy won the award, which is terrible, because I haven't seen that film yet, but I heard he did a really great job of that in that film. And he's been kind of working his way up to this kind of comeback of sorts. It seems like for some time now, like he's had a couple of rough years. I mean, he wrote that biography about it. It was coming out of that whole weird relationship shit. Like he was down in the dumps. Yeah. He's crying on the fucking Red Table Talk. People have been talking shit about him for 2-3 years on the internet. Chris Rock just got the brunt of it. Chris Rock was the one that he should not but he is a comedian. And they don't normally write their jokes for these shows, everybody. Like some comedians, unless they're hosting, they don't actually get involved in the writing of the jokes. Chris Rock was probably just reading something off a teleprompter that he was given at that moment in time and doing the best he could with what he had to say. I'm not going to sit here and judge it and say it wasn't insensitive. I, for one, I'm okay with the joke. He's a comedian. I didn't have a problem with it. If other people want to sit there and say they had a problem with it, because I've heard the award show at times can be like a roast, right? These guys all have money. They're all successful. That's like when Ricky Gervais came on and he took everybody down a peg when he insulted everybody. He said, way. But he was a host, right? And he said, people said they would never invite him back. And guess what? The ratings are so fucking bad. They've had Ricky Gervais back, I think, like twice since they said they were never going to have him back for insulting everybody that way, right? People need to kind of lighten up in that sense. But I get it. If she's talking about her personal struggle or whatever, she could have grown and not liked it, or he could have talked to him like a man one-on-one outside of that. He didn't need to storm the stage and slap the shit out of him like that, man. I don't know.
The thing I like people to, I'd like you to realize that is that if he does have these types of issues and he's got stuff going on with Jada, they shouldn't be together, man. I think it's toxic for them. He's pretty cool and calm and reserved. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Kanye acts like a fucking crazy guy all the time, right?
Right.
It was like all of a sudden Will Smith decided to say, okay, hold my beer. Let me go show him up one. You know what I mean? Like, here, take a fucking, here, hold my beer. I'm going to go fucking show who's crazy or not. Right. But even when watching it over, and I've been watching this over and over again. And I mean, Julie's obviously good with camera views and stuff. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I would have thought Will Smith, even with an open hand smack, would have fucking knocked Chris Rock off further than that. Off balance, because he was leaning into it too as well. If you noticed, he kind of leaned into it because he didn't know it was coming, right? But yeah, I don't think he should have reacted like that. No. Comics, it's like they said now there was a thing saying that comics now have a target. It's almost like, I think it was Chris Rock said it too afterwards. It's like you can't say something without having, you should always be in a way fearful of what you say because you might hurt somebody's feeling or they might be having a bad day. I get it.
It's true. Comedians don't aim to hurt people's feelings. That is not what they're there to do. But at the same time, sometimes jokes can come off mean-spirited as a result of, like, especially in a roast like style approach when you're doing like award shows or you're doing roast and this kind of thing. And some things do get brought to light, and there has been people that have lost their cool or told people off from the crowd, but to the point where they actually have gotten up and did something about it, like up on stage like that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I almost think Chris Rock looked like the bigger man at that point because he didn't react back.
of course,
I mean, who's he gonna do? Fight Ali? You know
but that's
what I
the
mean?
thing. Of course, he came off more favorable to everybody in that instance because he kind of kept it moving. Of course, Will Smith didn't come off.
I'm surprised Will Smith actually came out that crazy because, dude.
But that's why some people loved it. Like some people actually like a lot of rappers for that. For I should mention though, but a lot of people love the fact that he went up there, whether it be standing up for his woman or whether or not it's because Chris Rock was running his mouth. But again, you got to remember, he's a comedian. Like that's what people are forgetting. He's a fucking comedian and doing a job. Like it's not him sitting there being like telling you personal things about Will Smith and his relationship and how he hates on his wife.